remember around that time WrestleMania, and I was thinking about what I had made that Triple H video going into WrestleMania of how I was talking about WrestleMania this year and just Triple H and the booking in general. Now's the time, but I feel like I want to instead of like making just another Triple H video, I wanted to like make it to where we're basically summarizing, you know, like not just Triple H but TKO and kind of a little bit of everything, like up until this point. So, and I kind of want to start it off. I guess we can start it off with saying like, yeah, I mean, it's kind of like because I was watching a little bit of this video, and because it kind of doesn't make sense, and halfway, yeah. Also, what I kind of got, yeah, oh yeah, like in the title, like is like what this dude was talking about. He's talking about video games, pretty much video games right now, but like it's like he was being like specific, and it's like the title was like this title was called like this YouTuber. It was this video. It was like this title was like why cinematic games are harder to replay, and which at first I was like going into it, I was like, and when I saw finally get to hear him talk, and I also looked at the description a little bit, I was like, oh and because also when we will get to that what it means, but yeah, think about that right now though. Why cinematic games are harder to replay, and that is a very good question. I mean, you can kind of pretty much say the same thing about any medium right now in entertainment, and wrestling. We gotta definitely include wrestling into that. I mean, so and I mean, the title and the thumbnail kind of gives you also a point of what I'm about to say. Yeah, like I know what I said. Of course, what I said, like when I was gonna, like when talking about the uploads and how rarely that I was gonna be around, and when it just when it comes to just in general about talking about professional wrestling, how long, or just like how consistent that I was gonna be able to to really just talk about it and be around for it. And this is one of the reasons why. It's just you look at let's say you look at professional wrestling lately, and it just gets like this. I mean, the shit is sad, bro. I know we say it all the time, but I mean it's true. And it's like not just see it, you can feel it, and it's just like in every way where it really is. Like the shit is sad. It's just really, really sad. It's like because like just professional wrestling, it just continues to get lazier and lazier. Like that's all WWE cares about. Like that's all they care about now. And I know we say it probably every time. Pretty much like about I feel like everything is said about the medium, like where we talk about video games, where people talk about like video games, or they talk about movies, and of course professional wrestling, where where it's pretty much dead at this point. I feel like of course when you talk about like of course, I mean obviously when like of course I mean it's too expensive. In this case, professional wrestling, WWE. I mean the WWE's at a point to where they're making. It's a $1 billion franchise. Like they're. I mean, it's not a long. It'd probably be a cold day in hell, or a incredibly long ass time, at least not in our time, that WWE would probably even think about. There'd probably be a moment to where WWE is losing X amount of money. I mean, obviously, like we talk about, like of course, like there's no time, like there's not gonna be a time, probably anytime soon, to where we see WWE lose this amount of money. Not like for damn sure, because they're expensive as fuck. $1 billion franchise. You get an individual, of course, like a Vince McMahon that has became. They have achieved like a substantial amount of wealth. Like of course, like when you talk about financially, no, But I feel like when we say that, though, when in WWE, it's like, yeah, it's pretty much at a point to where we talk about the quality. We're talking about the quality, and we're talking about the product itself, the content, everything around it. Where like, yeah, I mean, you look at it and it's just, it's like it's not where you want it to be. It's completely stagnant, and there's nothing about it that is worth really giving checking your time into. And yeah, like just like that's where you can say, if I can go a little bit into WWE, I mean, if I can go a little bit into AEW too, I mean, I get it too. If I can really etch that up, I do. I mean, I get it. I do get it, but where of course the generation about how, my bad, like where the wrestling is favored over everything else, and like, yeah, like, but it's like you have to like where you look at you can't just have one aspect be at the center of it all. You have to have an arsenal. Like you have to have these other things that really, and that's where you see, because when you have national professional wrestling that's been on like that is where like this is on national TV, and people want to be entertained. It's like where I can get back to where like, yeah, it's just like nothing about WWE right now. Nothing about WWE right now is like just nothing at all that begs, that has me to want to like really to want to like. There's nothing like there's like really nothing. So I shouldn't be. Yeah, I just feel I'm at a point now to where I don't want to waste my time. Like I'm through wasting my time, and I'm it's even less. It gets even more annoying to where, of course, the fanboys and you you have like the consumers, and it's like, yeah, because it's like it's ridiculous, and like like, and it's like, so because I want to get back to that video when I was talking about, and it's like, of course, like which that title was called, like, yeah, cinematic game. Why cinematic games are getting harder to replay, or basically why cinematic games have no replay value. And that's pretty much like modern, yeah, at least like be put, like you could press pretty much also too, like, because that's pretty much of what you could say about modern gaming. And he's talking about like how these types of games, like the new God of Wars, the like games like Red Dead Redemption 2 and Uncharted 4, Last of Us, Spider-Man 2, Sony's Insomniac's Spider-Man, and things among that nature. And it's like how he's like, yeah, like because he's like, he hates the people that say that, he hates the people that say that like have a disdain for it and talk so much shit about it. But then again, he's just like he's making a video about how cinematic games are, why they have no replay value, why nobody really cares about, or why pretty much, yeah, to us last while, why modern gaming, why does anybody, because he also says, yeah, why does like it goes, because they have like that. And there was also this comment too. There was like, yeah, like people, because like people don't really, let me go to that, like because this video too, because there was this comment. Please. That was a really good one too. Yeah, it's like this comment, like, let me read the comment too. So it's like, I think the issue is that games, as well as all media now, is treated as content, not art. It's just something to consume and move on to the next thing. You can see it when people get angry that a DLC doesn't include more story to consume, or if a game is too hard to beat. because it all gets in the way of their main reason to play the game, to consume more content. Like, and yeah, that perfectly encapsulates, like, that pretty much explains. Yeah, I mean that pretty much explains like the entire, when you talk about entertainment, or like I said, they're not just like what we, or just in general, when you talk about that, and like perfectly summarizes everything. It's like, because I know I said this before, but I want to say I always had, just like how I talked about, like how, where I think I said, where I I was Terminator, like growing up watching the Terminator movies, specifically like 1 and 2. And it's like how, of course, like how machines, take over the world, and basic humanity is basically, being thrown into extinction. And the machines are starting to rule now, and basically the machines are taking over the world as you know it. And it's like, it also like had like, yeah, it's like has like to where it's like, yeah, like, and that's where like or there was this another fear to where like I guess, yeah, where I feel like everything feels like there's not, like, there's really anything, everything is really non-existent of emotion. Or I feel like we're always had a feeling to where, I feel like humanity would get at a point where, where passion, or where, what's the word I'm looking for? Or generic, or simply, it's a lot of another words, but generic, or superficial, would take over. And there would barely be any human emotion, passion, instead of that. But simply that, everything in everything and anything would simply be no more. And that's why in the same breath, that's why I feel like where everything was with professional wrestling. And just talking about that, also that video too, it perfectly explains, whether it's WWE or AEW, or just in general, or let's say in this case, I said like WWE. I said all they care. I said all they care about is wanting the audience to consume. All they want is everybody to buy the next thing, consume it, and move on. And that's it. There's nothing that really goes. There's nothing of passion that gets put into, but like that, into this, into that. Nothing. I mean, it's all about just trying to set records, and that's it. I said it's consumed. I said there before also, where when it comes to these companies, where shit you say doesn't matter, or when it's simply about consume, shut up and consume. And that's the mindset. That's the thing in society today, where I feel like we're as far as humanity is getting, where I feel like, it's just, where WWE, like that, like where WWE, they just simply, they don't try anymore. And it's all about where what I just said repeatedly, just it's about consume, and we'll move on to the next thing. What's the next thing that's gonna be hot, or let's say, because like, it's not about where, why do you think nothing has, why video, like modern gaming is nobody talks about it the week after, months from now, or it's doesn't have any quote unquote replay value. I said, or in this case, because it's the simple fact that it has no passion, it has no art, no, like, it's set as goal. It's just like, in the best case for this to really talk about, to put into perspective, is Fortnite. Or just like that formula, many games that continue to, many other companies got continue to copy Fortnite, and what Epic Games and Fortnite have done to the battle royale specific genre is that, it's all about chasing trends, and chasing what what to get to the next meal. I mean, that's all it's not about the consumer. It's not about a passion for the community. It's not about doing this and that for them. It's not about art. It's not about creating something that people can enjoy and simply have fun. It's not about that anymore. Not about having fun. It's about it's about an expectation and what these companies want. And like I said, it's consume. Move on to the next thing. Shut up and consume, and move on to the next thing. Yeah, I mean, and that's depressing to think about. I absolutely find it fucking wild that I have to, or they're asking me to come out of my pocket for $30 a month for a PLE that really it doesn't benefit me in the grand scheme of things. I don't get it. Like, what am I getting out of that? There's no effort when there's absolutely zero effort going into that PLE to begin with. So it's like, what? So why waste my time? Man, I mean, compare, it is just fucking incredible nowadays when it comes to WWE. When you have them getting worse, more corporate shit. I would take the WWE in the early years of the PG era more so. At least you had, like I said, I know it's still not really anything, to begin with, but at least we still something, bro. You still had some enjoyable factor. You still had a little bit of something. Now, shit, maybe once in a while, you maybe even think about getting something like the Bloodline of what we got for the last 5 years, because this is fucking ridiculous. And then when you ask for more, you get you get fucked in the ass, bend over and get fucked in the ass from all sides, whether it's of course the fanboys or the company. Triple H telling you to shut the fuck up. Apparently asking to be entertained, just apparently that's a lot.